You are watching the Fayetteville Government Channel. Up next, full coverage of the latest meeting of the Telecommunications Board. The Telecommunications Board is composed of citizen volunteers and meets on the third Thursday of each month. This board advises the City Council regarding telecommunications issues and assists city staff with the administration of the city's public access, education, and government television channels. And now, the Telecommunications Board.
Well, I will call the November 2012 meeting of the Telecommunications Board to order. We'll just do an informal roll. Mr. Ehrig. Here. Mr. Smith. Here. Mr. Goggins. Here. And Pennington's here. I think I'll also recognize guests, because I've never done that before. Just for the roll, for the minutes in the future. Just recognize who else is in the room. So we got Mr. Fritz Giesler, the Television Center Manager, Ann Shelley, the former Executive Director of Your Media and current Board Chairman, and the new Executive Director of Your Media, Dan Robinson. First up is approval of our October meeting minutes. We've had a chance to review. Would entertain any motions?
I move we dispense reading the minutes and approve them as.
Second.
On motion by Mr. Smith and second by Mr. Ehrig to approve the October minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer sent me an email, said that he was not able to attend tonight, and I had not heard anything from Mr. Spearman.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll bring maybe a few minutes.
And Mr. Shepard's not here yet.
Anything to add or change on this month's agenda? If not, to entertain a motion to approve.
So move. Second.
On motion by Mr. Smith and second by Mr. Ehrig to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We will move into reports. First is the Television Center Manager, Mr. Giesler.
Glad to be here. As I usually do, I've included the viewership numbers that we are able to pull from. Hey, sorry, Mr. Spearman. There's copies of the agenda down there on the corner if you'd like one. The viewership numbers as from our video on demand services. So as you can see, we had the numbers stayed fairly steady at this point in time, and we'll see how that goes forward. Hopefully, after the first of the year, and we are able to take advantage of our new community outreach coordinator and addition to the communications department here at the city. If you gentlemen were not aware, Dee Dee Peters was hired as another team member in the communication department, and she has a lot of experience in communication and outreach, and I think that she'll be a great addition to the team, and that I'm hoping to take advantage of some of her expertise and capability in providing some help with promoting the viewership on the government channel and public access television. But in the government channel, numbers are staying fairly steady with as we go forward through the month. 1,370 separate views of video programming on from YouTube, and when we pull out the Today in America piece that we do, that nets out to 929. So right about 1,000. It's held steady, fairly steady for the last 2 or 3 months, and the same for Granicus, since it's in the 400 to 450 range in terms of individual views of video programs. And the top program viewed on YouTube last month was a piece that we've recently completed that highlights a curbside recycling route driver. And it's actually a twofold. What we did with that piece was does two things. One, it's a recruiting piece, because the solid waste division was in need to recruit route drivers. but it was also done in a way to highlight the job that these people do. It's a tough job, and they're out there all kinds of weather. It's a lot of activity and a lot of things that they do. And one of those jobs that a lot of people don't recognize that the city administration has to do. That's one of the things that we provide, and I think it gives the residents a lot clearer picture of what these guys do, and everybody was real pleased at the way it came out.
Very well done. I saw it. Somebody had posted on Facebook, and I
Yeah.
sit there. Good.
We had a great time doing it. Our newest team member, Doug Bankston, was the lead producer on that, and he did just a tremendous job on it.
Who knows, it could be a huge revenue source for the city of Fayetteville. If Philadelphia has parking wars, maybe, follow us around a parking attendant all day, maybe we can have a recycling, one of the channels will pick it up, and that'll be a revenue stream. So I think the government channel and your team gets dibs on
that. Well, it'd be kind of fun if we could have a reality show. I'm sure those guys would have a lot of fun with it. The Granicus meeting, we do all of our meetings on Granicus, as you know, and interestingly enough, the Telecommunications Board of October, that meeting actually beat out one of the city council meetings in terms of number of views on Granicus last month, but the city council meeting of October 16th was the one that had the highest viewership, 36 different views of that one. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is work continues apace on our renovations. All of the building renovations have been completed. The walls have been built, and all the painting's done, the carpet's in, and the different things have been routed here and there. We were actually had to add some stuff to that in terms of, we found out that as we subdivided some of these areas, because we isolated all of our real heat generating producing equipment in racks in the rack room. As I said before, put it in there, get the noise over there, get the heat there. We had to actually add what's called a mini split air conditioning unit to the building to handle the heat load. But building services came through on that, got that installed. Right now, to finish up and get the studio back online, we're waiting for equipment that's been back ordered. We ordered it a few weeks ago. Sometimes these things aren't immediately in stock, so the vendor has to back order it. It's frustrating on our part because we really want it to be here and get this done, but we'll just have to patiently continue to wait. Hopefully it will be done. And we do have a deadline of how to figure out how to get everything done by the 15th of December, because the Lions Club will once again do their auction on the public access channel, and we want to definitely be done with that. But a lot of good feedback, and I certainly invite any of you or anybody from the public to come down to the television center and see what we've done. We're really excited about the additions and the enhancements that we're going to be able to provide for public access users, for people in the city administration, and it just is going to basically complete the efforts that we've been making over the past couple of years to make the facility more usable and more supportive of good video production and television production efforts. That's really what we've been concentrating on in the last. We have a few programs in the pipeline, in the production pipeline. So you'll be seeing some stuff come from us, like how to drive a roundabout. It's one of the things that is on some people's mind. So we're producing a video that's going to help people be oriented. So it's going to be the first one in Fayetteville, and there's a lot of people really excited about it and what it's going to do for traffic flow and things like that. But we're looking at that. We're going to also be providing some assistance and some support for the solid waste division as they go forward with a real significant public education effort on their part. So we will help them where we can in the ways that we do with that, along with the communication department. So, any questions?
No, may I have a comment? You know, election season is over.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say the great city team that you have, while y'all weren't on the ballot, your name, I just wanted to say how proud I am to work with y'all. You know, city employees come every day to do a great job for all the residents. And you know, whether you talk about taxes or whether you talk about a bike trail, a lot of people forget that you wake up every day and your team wakes up every day to make Fayetteville a better place. And so, you know, at Thanksgiving, we're supposed to talk about what we're thankful for. And I am so thankful for your team and the work y'all do and the reports you prepare every month and the availability that y'all make yourself, both you and Miss Shelley. And so, you know, we have a lot to be thankful for in Fayetteville, and one of those are our great city employees. And I'm glad I have the chance every month to be reminded of that by working with you.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate that. I will wrap up my report by introducing, as you earlier did, Dan Robinson, who is the new executive director of Your Media and our public access operator, and I will turn this over to him and allowing him and Dan Shelley to do the public access report.
It's gonna be a team effort tonight.
Yeah, actually, I put the numbers down on paper, but Dan has certainly been driving the machine forward, and I'm very excited to welcome him here. I'm glad to see, speaking of numbers, that both those election numbers turned out well, and also that the Telecom Board was back at number 4 on my last show. My last show as ED. Woohoo! I'm sure Dan will do his best to increase those numbers. That's what he likes to do and what he does so well. So really the brief overview is right there on the front page of the numbers. No changes really in the trend we've seen, and just kind of flat, not really a great increase in anything. However, that said, we are right on track for the first month of the last quarter to get the 12 candidate producers that we need. We got 4. So we're doing well. The no-shows are down. Again, the workshop in October, which Carmen Cousteau, one of our board members, led, was very well received. And the quality and energy around the workshops is finally getting to the level that we had hoped all along. And I know Dan will help move that forward as well. And you'll notice that the programming numbers are somewhat down, but a lot of that, since most of the new local programs that are really regular are programs produced in the studio, a lot of that is a direct result from the studio updates and the fact that most of those producers can't be in. However, one of the anecdotal stories that I shared was Roger Henry. He and Dan Vega have done the longest show on public access. They're now in their 20th year. And he was excited when I saw him that because of the studio updates, they did their 20th anniversary show back in Dan Vega's kitchen and used the field equipment to tape it and make their show. And he said, we couldn't have planned it that way. We would never have thought to do that on our own, but what a cool thing it was for them as producers to be back where they all started in that one kitchen where they created the show and having their 20th anniversary show. So I wanted to share that because that was kind of a neat story to have Dan and Roger so excited about that unintentional outcome of the studio update. The big story, though, is sitting right to my right. And you'll see a little bit of mention of him in the short takes or production activity part of this report, but definitely when you get to the promotional activity. I sit here representing the whole organization of Your Media, but also I represent the selection committee that made the final decision that brought Dan to this table before you tonight. And just because we are here for our public access services, to give you an idea of how important it was to us that this, the person who filled this chair next to me had public access in mind and was going to do the best job possible for our #1 client, the city. We had 2 very close finalists. We invited Fritz to sit in on all of the interviews as a resource if there were questions that needed to be asked about our unique relationship with the city. And that was a great experience for all of us, the board members and staff members who were on the selection committee, as well as Fritz, if I can speak for you. Mm-hmm. And one of the thing we've had the final 2 candidates do for their final interview was actually off the cuff come and do a short take at public access on Fayetteville Public Access Television and promoting it. And that was really the deciding factor, and obviously the clear winner is sitting right next to me. His ability to stay on message, to have excitement, energy, and enthusiasm, and to take your media especially, but we can't ignore the huge impact he'll have on public access services as well. His ability to market that, promote it, and also build on the foundation we have worked so hard to develop this last couple of years is definitely why he's in this chair. So he dominates the promotional aspect of this, and I'm going to just give you a little bit of his bio, but he can speak for himself. That would be an auto bio if you did it.
You're doing great.
Okay. Dan has had his own video production company here in Fayetteville for over 2 years now. He has so he has a background and knows the language can have those strengths where I had nothing but weakness. And his ability to promote and market through that, especially with regard to social media. And I'm looking at this report that you just gave on all the numbers, and I was imagining 3 to 6 months from now that Dan will be doing the same for you on public access television numbers. And that's the kind of skill, expertise, and energy that he brings to this position. So without further ado, I would like to have you up, Dan, and have him take over. He'll be doing these reports from now on. So anything you'd like to add?
Thank you very much. I'd really like to meet the guy she was talking about. Sounds very impressive. It really is an honor to be able to have this opportunity to especially connect the community with public access television, because the people that I work with as an independent producer I've worked with in the past, every time they're mentioned, every time we discuss with them what it is that public access television has to offer, they're like, is that still there? How do we do that? You know, there's kind of a disconnect there. I'm very excited to use social media and those sorts of things to help them realize what an amazing resource it is, and help them take advantage of that. So, and I'm so honored to be following the amazing work that they have been doing to improve the operational and get a wonderful foundation laid for growth, and I'm very excited about the growth that we'll be seeing in the year to come.
Great. Any questions for you?
It's exciting to see a new face on board, and hope it goes well. You got a great mentor on the board.
I really do.
So,
Yeah.
And you've got a great foundation on which to build, and that's almost all a result of Ann and her team. So,
Yes. Very excited to be a part of it.
anybody else?
No, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right. If that's all for the reports, we will move into committee reports if there are any. Nothing. Any announcements? Fritz, did you mention the council meeting coming up on the budget?
The City Council will be voting on the 2013 budget and work plan on Tuesday. That's the 20th, isn't it? I believe. And just FYI that they'll be doing that. Included in that budget is the proposed increase, budgeted increase for public access services, and also for operational services for the proposed upgrades to our Granicus system and our legislative management, which will greatly enhance our public communication interaction with the legislative process here in Fayetteville. And then we're working to get the paperwork in place so the 2013 proposed contract for public access services will be on the agenda for the December 4th City Council meeting.
Hope that goes well.
I'm sure it will, with the great resolution that this board passed and the endorsement. It'll be, I'm sure it will be.
Juggernaut.
It was a very
Just one suggestion. You can call me out of order.
No.
Fayetteville Public Library seems to be contemplating moving into video production and stuff? Are they aware of public access television and the services that are offered there, or is that something you might share with their board before they invest time and resources in it?
You know, we got wind of that through a online article someone I shared with you about the new director. We have not reached out to them specifically. Certainly Willow and the reference desk who works with all the nonprofits knows about us, but I think that definitely needs to be added to Dan's list of outreach in the coming months. Absolutely, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel. I do know that when they were launching the Fayetteville Stories project they just finished, that we were included in the initial planning and taught some video production classes for them last year as part of that. But again, that was prior to their changes in leadership, so it would be really good to revisit that.
Yeah. You might invite the director and the board over for a tour of the studios or something.
Great idea.
Absolutely.
Anything else from the board or our guests?
Well, I would speak to that if I could very quickly. Very often, you know, the idea is very exciting to people, and they don't really realize the actual maintenance that it takes to maintain a facility like that. And so I think they'll find with the amazing modifications that have been made to the facility, and premiering that in January, and when he comes to realize the staffing and actual technical needs that it takes to maintain a facility of that nature, I think he'll be very interested in referring people to us. Rather than taking
I think
on,
they'd be excited about the resources
absolutely,
that are available.
rather than trying to take that on themselves, because it's quite an endeavor, and we have an amazingly streamlined system. So we'll be happy to share that with them.
All right. Nothing else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Aubrey.
I move we adjourn.
Motion by a couple of folks and second by another. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Meeting's adjourned.
Very.